Tina McDermott here from Tina's Joyful Kitchen, and today I have a quick recipe for you that is so much fun for the family gatherings this holiday season, for the kids any time of the year. It's a recipe a friend of mine and I came up with because she has a 7-year-old, and making apple pie can be cumbersome, it takes way too long. So we're gonna make apple pie cups. That's right, apple pie cups. So I've got my muffin pan, and yes, it's stoneware. I love cooking with stoneware, makes me feel like a cave woman. And I lined them all with muffin cups, little paper, this is parchment paper cups. You can even cut out squares of parchment paper and put those in there as well. Don't forget, remember these, it's really important with this recipe that you do that. You don't have to grease them because you have these, okay? Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the filling. We're gonna make the filling, which is the crumble on the bottom. We're gonna put the crumble on the bottom versus the crumble on the top. You can put it on the top if you want to, it's all good. And what I have in here is almond flour. It's gluten-free, very good for your heart. We have some monk fruit. So you could use sugar if you want, but I don't like the sugar because it elevates your it elevates your blood sugar, which is not exactly the healthiest thing for you. Monk fruit does not elevate your blood sugar, and it's sweet and it's wonderful. There's no aftertaste. There's a pinch of salt in here, a pinch of salt. Let's see, 1 cup of almond flour, pinch of salt, and the 1/4 cup of the monk fruit. And we're gonna do a 1/4 cup of, this is softened butter. You can do melted butter, softened butter. You just don't want hard butter. So softened butter. We're gonna put that in there, and we're gonna get our handy dandy wooden spoon, and I'm just going to mix it up. I'm probably gonna get my fingers in there and make this a crumble using the fingers because it's okay, life is messy. You just have to wash your hands, right? But I'm gonna start it off with my handy dandy wooden spoon and make my crumble dumble. Yep, right off to the hands. Here we go. Make sure you wash your hands ahead of time. Gets a little messy, but that's okay. That's okay. Get your hands in there. And this is where food comes from, when you make it yourself, as opposed to drive-thrus or packaged foods. You see how now it's all coming together? You see how it's all just coming together? It's so much easier to use your hands. God gave us his beautiful fingers. You might as well use them in hands. Okay, so now I've got a little bit of my crumble, and I'm gonna divide it up amongst my 12 little muffin cups. Again, you can put this at the top if you want. I've always made this with the crumble dumble on the bottom. Yes, that's my new word, crumble dumble. All right, so just a little bit at the bottom on each of them. You could pack it down if you want, but remember, I'm lazy. I'm not gonna pack it down. I'm just gonna evenly distribute. Let me move that aside, and we'll pack it down once you put the apples on the top. Super simple. It's kind of like apple pie, apple crumble, but in little cups. So once it's cooked, you can just give them the little cup with a spoon, and off they go. Easy, easy peasy. Now we're gonna do the filling. You see, I didn't make a big fuss out of making them perfect. They don't have to be perfect. Your hands don't have to be clean either. You can stay with the dirty hands, or they're not dirty, they're just full of crumble. And you're gonna cut up apples. We're gonna cut up a whole bunch of apples. I already have apples. If you're gonna pre-cut up your apples for your recipe, pour lemon juice on them. I have a wonderful apple slicer that I really love to use this, and one time the apple didn't go all the way through and I tried to push it through and I cut my fingers. Don't do that. Don't do what I did. So there we go. My hands are got a little butter on them, so it's gonna be harder for me to pull it off. You can peel your apples. You can keep the apple peel on. If they're organic, keep the apple peel on. The core, give it to your dog, or give it back to Mother Earth. Throw it right in the compost there. So I like to keep the peel on. I don't have a problem with it. And you can either cut them on the chopping board or just cut them with a paring knife towards me. I was always taught to cut towards myself. You do not have to do that. You do not have to do it this way. You can easily do it on the cutting board like so. Okay? This might be too many apples now, but maybe not. Who knows? The more apples, the better. The more apples, the better. Apples are just abundant in the fall and wonderful around Christmas time. Just wash them. I'm lazy. Don't take the skin off if you don't want to. My lovely assistant took the skin off, which is perfectly fine too. Now we're going to put a little bit of liquid in there. We've got vanilla. Don't chintz on the vanilla. Get some really good organic vanilla and some lemon juice. So there we go. Some vanilla and lemon juice is right in there. And then we've got over here for the dry ingredients that we're going to put on our topping is more monk fruit, tapioca flour, which helps just bind it all together. And we have ginger, cinnamon, and nutmeg. A little bit of ginger, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg. And you know, you can go by what the recipe says, or you can just put in what you like. I love cinnamon, so I tend to put a lot of cinnamon in my apple, all my desserts. I put a lot of cinnamon in it, okay? So I mix that all together, and now you didn't have to mix it in a smaller container. You could have just thrown it right in there with the apples. But my assistant did all of that for me. And whoops, there's an apple that didn't get cut up. No big deal, just cut it up. No big deal, get that cut up. Oops, there's another apple not cut up. It's all good. Get them cut up. Now we have our apple mixture. If you want to make this ahead of time, you could always refrigerate this before you put them into your apple cups. Also, you can eat this cold. You don't have to cook these. Or you can just, oh, there's another piece. You could just put this into another pie plate and just cook the apples as they are without any kind of bottoms. Cooked apples with cinnamon, oh, what a delight. What a delight. You're just gonna put them right on top. There we go, apple pie cups. And we're gonna put these in the oven. The oven is on at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. It all depends on your stove and how your stove works. So you just want to check them, make sure that the apples are nice and soft. And also with the crumble on the bottom, there's no risk of the crumble burning, which, you know, could be a problem. Or not, or not. Okay, there we go. Lots of apples. They're full of fiber, they're full of vitamins, and full of yumminess. Just say that, full of yumminess. Okay, we're gonna put these in the oven, like I said, 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. Be right back. And here we are. Our apple pie cups are out of the oven and they are ready to eat. Get in my tummy, yum. So, as I said, they are great for children, they're great for adults, they're great for everybody. So you're just gonna take the little cup and let's just put them onto a little plate and serve them up with a spoon. You see the crumble is there on the bottom and you just eat that up. It is so good, so delicious, and nothing speaks autumn than cinnamon covered apples in an apple pie cup. There you go.